The making of a queen called Cleopatra a seductress. Rome called her a threat, but long before Rome feared her, her own family did. Cleopatra, the seventh Philopator, was born into a family where survival mattered more than love. By the time she entered the world in 69 BCE, Egypt was no longer the unstoppable empire people imagined. It was wealthy, admired, and dangerously vulnerable. Rome was rising, absorbing kingdoms across the Mediterranean, and Egypt survived only by balancing carefully between obedience and independence. Cleopatra's family, the Ptolemies, were Greek rulers pretending to be Egyptian gods. They held power through incest, betrayal, and violence. Brothers killed brothers. Sisters vanished. Queens were erased from history as if they had never existed. This was not a childhood of comfort. It was a childhood of observation. Cleopatra learned early that titles did not protect people. Intelligence did. While other royal children were raised for ceremony, Cleopatra was educated for survival. She studied philosophy, rhetoric, politics, and astronomy. She learned how arguments were built, how influence worked, and how power quietly changed hands. Most importantly, she learned languages, including Egyptian itself. No Ptolemaic ruler before her had bothered to speak the language of the people they ruled. Cleopatra did. This was not symbolism. It was strategy. At 18, Cleopatra became queen. But the crown came with a trap. By tradition, she was forced to co-rule with her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII, who was also declared her husband. Real power, however, belonged to the court officials around him, men who feared Cleopatra's intelligence and independence. Behind palace walls, they moved against her. Accused of ambition and overreach, Cleopatra was betrayed and forced into exile. For most rulers, exile meant the end of the story. For Cleopatra, it was the beginning. From exile, she studied Rome and understood a brutal truth. Egypt could not survive Rome by resisting it, and it could not survive by ignoring it. Egypt needed a protector, but choosing the wrong one would mean destruction. Rome was tearing itself apart in civil war, and one man stood at the center of it, Julius Caesar. Cleopatra did not see Caesar as a lover. She saw him as leverage. If she could convince him that Egypt under her rule would benefit Rome, she could reclaim her throne. So she returned to Alexandria, not with an army, but with precision. What followed would.